We're live?
We're live.
We're live. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. Well, geez, oh Pete's, people. I am tickled pink. I have the goose pimples. I've got the goose skin, the chicken skin.
It's because it's cold in here.
It is not cold in here.
No,
My
cold.
face is burning up, actually.
I'm cold.
Well, maybe I can warm you.
Oh.
So, welcome everybody to the Big Family Homestead Sunday Night Live. Woo! And the crowd goes wild. Boom, boom, boom. I hope that you are ready for another exciting and soon-to-be classic edition of the Sunday Night Live with the Big Family Homestead. And that's when the crowd goes, yay! Boom, boom, boom.
We need explosions, but we can't have explosions right
now. Yeah. Claire, can you grab this? This is doing that thing again where I don't... She's told me how to do this, and I'm actually a nerd. It's just really frustrating. She said, I got to be in the app. I was in the app. We have got technical difficulty here, but I have a list. I'm not afraid to use it. Okay, there we go. And then we need to shoji chat so we can see what you guys have got. Live chat. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present my case. We have got tons of stuff and things going on tonight.
We do?
We do.
Sweet.
Go over that list, Mama. Oh, Claire, it's not actually doing the chat. I'm hitting live chat.
Okay, you gotta click here.
Yes. That's what I did. Ah, there's everybody.
Okay.
Now we can start. See, I was all verklempt. I was getting all... Who's it and what's a zitty?
Okay. Kathy Cox is here. Nebo Allen.
You're going to have to go a lot faster than that.
Alicia D, State of Grace, Deep South Texas, Florida Rose, Geeky Gardens, Captain Jesse, Ray Barnes. I'm not going to try and butcher that name. Coffee Time, Trish Gordon, Timmy Zander is here.
Oh, hey, Timmy.
Kathleen Moses, Candy Unicorn is here. And lots of others.
And you know who you are because you are you.
You typed your...
So, welcome. We have got a lot going on, or had a lot going on this week. I think the first big thing is the poop has manifested itself again as not a frozen chunk of dookie ice cream wannabe.
Poop skating rink.
Poopsicle. Now it's like slushy and sloshy, and the bacteria are getting nasty. So we've been scooping and moving, but it is amazing. I gotta be honest. It was like honestly 18 inches thick.
At least, yeah.
And when it was cold out, the cows didn't mind. They just walked right over the top like la da da da.
Right. Well, we can't do that because we only have 2 feet. They have 4 where they can distribute their weight a lot better. It's really difficult walking out there.
Moving the poo.
So much fun.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when you're moving the poo?
Noah's Ark says poop is gold.
It really is, and that's the funny thing about it.
Yeah.
Because without it, it would be really, really hard to garden. And when you really think about it, it's just nice knowing that all that poo is going to be on your plate one day and the vegetables you're eating, right? I mean, am I right?
Sure.
No?
No.
She's going with a negative on that.
That's gross.
So then the next time that we're actually, getting ready to slice into one of them nice big old plump tomatoes.
Think of all the yummy poo that we put in that garden.
The poo.
Yeah.
We actually got to go on an ATV ride today.
We did.
Why don't you start chatting about that, and I'll chime in as needed.
So we packed a picnic lunch and we loaded all the kids on and had our blanket and all that jazz and just took off. Went to the Northwoods and just drove around, had a blast, went to Timms Hill, which is the highest peak in the state of Wisconsin.
It is at just under 2,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the highest I think I've been on the ground. I've been in an airplane, but on the ground. I've not gone out west.
Well, I know, but we've been through the Appalachians.
Oh yeah, I guess
that's pretty high.
Yeah, but that's driving. I walked this one. I walked this one.
This is one of those times when Brad's just going to go, yeah, honey, that was good.
Just.
We had to walk 300 yards off of our ATVs.
It was steep.
Uh,
You be quiet over there, peanut gallery.
Claire.
It wasn't.
For you.
Okay, to be, chivalrous, I will honestly say my knee does actually hurt a little bit.
I don't hurt now, but I was out of shape. Let's just say that.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? So yeah, but also we got to go to a really cool, place for lunch.
Yeah. Well, okay, I said we packed a picnic lunch. We didn't actually eat the picnic lunch because we found a really beautiful restaurant up there, little cafe type thing, and it was really cool.
What was it called? Hill of Beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was on this lake that was just underneath the
So
highest
pretty.
point, and so we decided to eat the picnic lunch for dinner, which is what we did.
Right. So.
So yeah, those sandwiches that have been in there in the sun for most of the day
They
with
were
mayonnaise and
in
mustard
a cooler.
are so delightful. Just real nice.
How
It's
just
just a
gonna
sandwich.
go and you can just relax.
No, you relax,
Mm.
sister. So yeah, it was called Hill of Beans, and the weird thing about it was we were looking at I guess we got there just at the wrong time because the breakfast on the menu looked great, and then it was like all they had for lunch, everything they had really 3 items on the menu for lunch. One was a salad you could pick from. One was the bowl of soup, which actually was really good.
It was a cauliflower soup.
And then the third thing was a truckload of panini sandwiches. You want this panini, we got it. You want that one, we got it. You want that one, we got it.
Any kind of panini you can fathom. And they had Can I talk about the error on the menu?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So me being a homeschool mom, I'm like I
Grammar Nazi.
Grammar Nazi is what what they call me. They spelled avocado wrong.
And this is kind of a frou-frou joint.
Twice, actually. They spelled it wrong twice. So it was not a typo. It was deliberately spelled incorrectly twice. It was AVACADO.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah. So I wanted to tell them about their error, but they wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that was really a blast. And all in all, when we got off the ATVs, we were all kind of looking like we'd been riding a horse for way too long.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody was not walking straight. We were moseying. We didn't walk. We moseyed.
My hips were stiff.
And we had ridden only 45 miles.
Yeah.
All in all.
Yeah.
So, but that was really a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. Kids had just a ball, except for all of the dust.
Yeah. Yeah. I pulled the lucky card that I got to go in the front.
Brad leads the pack, and I bring up the rear of the pack to make sure everybody is where they need to be, and kids are in the middle, and that's...
And making sure we're paying attention to traffic and stuff like that.
Exactly. We're all paying attention to traffic, but let's just say I needed to wash my hair and face when I got home.
I did too.
There was so much dirt, I couldn't rub my fingers through my hair. It was really gross.
It was definitely... I shut my mouth because I didn't want to be the guy going, what was the problem? I had no issue with it.
Of course you didn't.
So I was grateful. So that said, it was just a great day. Although I got to say, I feel like I'm a little. Am I red? My face?
A little
bit.
Not too bad. Not too much.
Can you believe? Okay, guys. Can you believe that 2 weeks ago today we had 20 inches of snow on the ground and it was still snowing?
Was it 2 weeks or was it 3 weeks ago?
I think it was 2.
I thought it was 3 weeks ago.
Could be.
Regardless,
I don't know.
it's
Even
still.
if it's 3, that's pretty amazing.
It was what 75 today.
78.
78, yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. Wanted to just say a real quick, brief thing before we move on to our channel shout-outs. But for you guys out there who are our patrons, our patron friends, folks who help us out with a little bit of love, sweet loving, and we just want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you so very much.
So, yeah, that's just want to say thanks. All right, now, it has come to that point of the evening when it's not only allowable for you to shout out and shamelessly plug whomever channel you are watching, liking, enjoying, even if it's your own. As a matter of fact, we encourage you to shout out your channel. For the next few moments, Miss Christa is going to read like the wind, and she's going to get as many of these in as she can. So go ahead and do your shameless plugging. Who are you watching? Who do you like? On your mark, get set, and go.
Let's see. Starry Hilder, Mike Miller, Bobblehead Homestead, Cog Hill Farms, Praying Medic, Recipe Archaeology, Preps, Tender Bob,
Prepsteader
Bob, Katie Grigori, Deep South Texas.
You gotta keep going, Mama.
Sorry, Smallwood Homestead, Timmy, Xander, Wholesome Roots, Spike Viper. That's a new one.
Keep going.
Come on. You know what? You can be quiet. Keeping in touch.
You're not gonna
Dolphin
read them all.
Gamer, Out of Goshen Homesteady, Deep South Homestead, Rain Country, Phillips Fam Bam, Bearcloth Homesteading. That's new. Deep South Homestead, Going Batty, Living the Keys Life, Out of Goshen, 700 Club Canada, Jane All Zero, Dirt Patch Heaven, Hollis and Nancy. I need my glasses. Internet Acres.
So please keep plugging the channels you are liking, the channels that you are watching. I am going to tell you about a channel that I've only watched 4 of their videos, and I think it's only because they've only got 4 videos.
Okay.
However, it's a channel that I really want to dig into because I don't know much about this topic. And this topic is Mittlighter gardening. You guys know about Mittlighter gardening? I don't know much, so I'm not going to try to sound like an expert about it because I'm not. But it's a way that you give the nutrients necessary to the plants in this crazy formula that seems to get people loads and loads of humongous yields.
Interesting.
And this individual has been a friend to our channel for a long time. Always is Johnny on the spot with a good suggestion or a good comment. And so the name of this channel is
Plant Food Minerals. Awesome.
Plant Food Minerals. So he doesn't know that I actually have selected him as our channel shout out of the evening. So if you don't mind, I'd really appreciate it. Open up another tab, go find Plant Food Minerals and sub his channel, because can you imagine tomorrow morning when he's like la da 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 checking his YouTube and all of a sudden it just went up by like 300, you know? Whoa, what happened? So Plant Food Minerals, if you're into Mittlighter gardening, check it out.
Awesome.
We greatly appreciate it. Okay, so moving on to our first actual real live topic of the evening. I'm going to give an open-ended question, or at least I think so.
Okay. Your favorite kind of question.
And you get to answer.
Okay.
No, I guess I don't know how to communicate. Sometimes I have the oddest thoughts at random times. Is that true?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And I'll have to know the answer to something right now.
Right.
And I will obsess about it until...
you find out the answer.
And they can be very strange.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Today was one of those strange question days.
Was it today or yesterday?
Both.
Okay.
I've got some information here that's going to blow your mind, people. Blow. So, I was musing as we were driving to pick up animal food on horsepower. The power of a horse.
Well, and why?
No, we will get to that.
Okay. Okay.
Don't spoil my thingy. Horsepower. I started thinking, okay, I've got a lawn tractor that's like a 35 horsepower engine. And then as we're driving by these Amish dudes out there with 6 horses pulling their massive equipment behind them and going through the mud, like mud. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking to myself, my lawn tractor is not as powerful as 35 horses. No way. So the question was,
how many horses does it take to equal a horsepower?
Horsepower?
Yeah.
Horses?
Right.
Actual horses, right?
Is it 1 horse
Per power?
1 horsepower? And the answer is
No.
No.
It is not. Does anybody know? Without Googling, don't Google it.
Don't Google this, but guess.
How many actual horses, in terms of power and output, does it take to make 1 horsepower? Let's see. Does anybody got it?
1.6.
Ellen Bloomfield, you're correct. There is a difference, but they do average. David, you're not close. Colette, no. Keep them coming. It's higher up than you think.
2 to 1? Nope.
Nope, not 2 to 1. Not 2 horse feet. Getting closer, go up higher, go up a little bit higher. 7 is getting closer, 10 is getting even closer. David, down. Coffee time got it.
Coffee time, yep.
Coffee time, 15 horsepower. So that's pretty crazy.
So 1 horse equals 15 horsepower.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and what they did, I actually saw the math on it, and it's crazy because what they do is they take the peak output of a generalized breed, and then they average it out. So they're like, if a horse is just getting it, like doing the most awesome it can possibly do, and then they average it out and they balance it out in terms of energy and output and all this kind of crazy stuff, and they come up with horsepower.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, all right, well, you know, we have tractors and we have engines and we have all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't really hit home to me as much as knowing how many actual horses it takes.
Right.
Right? So, for those math whizzes out there, if you have a 50 horsepower tractor, how many actual horses does that equal? Come on, baby. It's right there. I wrote it down for you.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. 3.33 horses. So a 50, and you know what? When you put it in those terms, it actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I'm out there on my 8M, and that's not, I mean, how many horses is it worth?
I don't know. I don't have to feed a tractor.
Well, talk a little bit about the Amish draft team that we saw.
Oh man,
We saw several.
So cool. These draft horses were huge, and they had them 6 across, and pulling this Amish fella on his plow, and it just had no problem going through this mud. It was amazing. I'm like, big tractors would get stuck in that.
Easy.
But they had no problem just walking right through there. It was awesome.
Prepsteader Bob says you don't have to catch a tractor. That's true. You don't have to feed a tractor.
Don't have to feed it.
Kind of, but you do have to give it the old petrol.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, but that's a lot cheaper than hay and grain.
well, is it? What if it's scarce?
Well, then your hay and grain is going to be, horse is a lot more.
I have no idea what just
happened. A
happened.
horse is a lot better at. Well, forget it. I'm tired.
I have no idea what just happened.
Day.
So what I'm guessing your meaning is that horses are easier to manage if you have a plethora of grasslands?
Yes.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. So I wrote down a few facts that you may find interesting about horses and their power and their powerful horses. Okay. An elephant. If you converted elephant power to horsepower, and yes, this is the kind of thing I think about. Yes. If you had an average size elephant and they're like a working elephant, it equals that.
2,072 horsepower.
Which equals
138 actual
horses.
Holy smokes.
Can you believe that? That's a lot of horses, man.
Yeah. Well, elephants eat a lot more than.
Well, that's a big stable.
A lot more than
That's
that.
a really big stable.
Don't elephants eat like a ton of food a day?
I have no idea. I've never really thought about owning one.
A literal ton or like
Yes, a literal ton.
A literal ton?
Like 2,000 pounds.
Joe Kev, Indian or African elephant. This is where I kind of feel like we should be talking about
Okay.
Monty Python. What kind of swallow is it? I don't know. Oh, get flung off the bridge, right? What's your favorite color? Red, no blue. Oh!
Oh my gosh.
Well, and am I right in thinking that women don't understand Monty Python?
I've never watched it, so I don't. I can't.
You watch it for like 10 minutes and then you walk off shaking your head like that.
No, whatever.
Happens every
Okay.
time.
Heather says, "Stop mathing at me. It's the weekend, and I don't do math on the weekend."
That's funny. City Homestead, who's Monty Python? Google it.
Google it.
Google it.
Yeah.
Nor do we want to, says P. Tebow. Oh,
gosh.
P. Tebow, we got to chat.
Elephant to horse conversion. Can we Google that?
Actually, you can. That's where I got it from. But this is the one that
Nice.
really blew my mind, okay? This one, don't say it.
Your head's
Right there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, we'll save that one for last.
Okay.
Okay, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. And yes, these are the kind of things that I think about. How many horsepower do you think it takes to power a nuclear power aircraft carrier? What would you guess? I don't know. I can tell you this. According to actually NASA, it takes
A lot, Ellen says.
260,000 horsepower. Which, if you converted that to actual horses, again,
17,333.
that's a lot of horses.
Jeez, oh Pete.
And they got to be specially trained because you don't get your off-the-shelf horse that knows how to swim like that. So,
Jean says 9,000 elephants.
9,000 elephants. Well done. Okay. Vern says too many. Okay, last horsepower
That's
thing.
a lot of horse poop.
That is a lot of manure. And it's getting thick in here. So the last one, and yes, this is how I think. I wanted to know how many horses and power it would take, horsepower, and then we'll convert it to actual horses, to actually launch and land the space shuttle. Claire. She's over there. You've never wanted to know how many horsepower.
Well, actually, I did, but I learned it in science class a few weeks ago. So
Okay. Well, it takes 37 million horsepower to get the shuttle into orbit and back down. The fuel pump alone, 71,000 horsepower. Just the pump.
So glad I took a nap while he was doing this.
And so, for those of you who may want to know how many actual horses it takes to get the shuttle into orbit,
A shrubbery.
a shrubbery, it takes 246,000 actual horses.
Okay. Can we move on? You spent way too much time on this. Do you have
No.
to use unicorns? Nice, Kevin.
Where do you get a used unicorn anyway these days? I mean, a lightly, gently used unicorn, maybe. I mean, they got magical properties, so they got to be more powerful than a regular horse. Don't you think? No? No?
Can we stop now?
All right. Well, tell the tale. We'll switch gears. Mama has gone bye-bye with horsepower. So why don't you tell us about donkey power?
Donkey power.
Tell us what happened.
Well, that's not as strong as horsepower.
No,
It's like half.
they're 3/4.
Is it
So-
3/4? I thought it was half.
No, I don't know. I'm just actually making that.
No,
part
I
up.
think we looked it up though, which was
All
funny.
right. How many donkeys power do we need to get the shuttle into orbit?
Stop.
Could be mouse power soon.
Jeez.
Tell about the donkey.
Okay, we have a new addition to our family. Eeyore, our donkey that we purchased in late September, has had her foal. And let me tell you, he
Cute.
is freaking cute.
watch the language. Keep it friendly.
I
Keep it
am
friendly.
keeping it family friendly, Claire. So he is really, really sweet. He was dancing around, what?
I saw a comment. I usually don't get distracted too badly, but when we're talking donkey power and getting the donkeys into and out of orbit, this comment is well worth mentioning. Geeky Gardens Donkeys do get better torque, though, so very nicely done. Sorry, baby, continue on. Well done.
That's great. So anyhow, our little donkey, he is a Jack. He's a male donkey, and super, super sweet so far. And we're going to hopefully train him to be a really nice donkey that we can lead around and not have as much stubbornness out of him as his mother.
Well, and he hasn't yet gone to school. We're thinking trade school for him, but he's really wanting to keep diversified. So far, he's really kind of just a jack of many trades, but we'll get him honed in on one specific career path. But we do need a name for him. You totally didn't catch that at all, did you?
I got it.
You got it?
It
Jack
was just
of many trades.
yeah. No. I got it.
No, it's dad jokes.
It's
dad jokes.
It's when he goes on these little trails. I don't know where he's gonna end up, so I kind of just sit and listen.
Hey,
and
we're all along for the ride.
holy cow!
So,
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
As Will said.
Yeah. So, okay, names for the donkey. Here's the scoop, guys and gals. We actually have a name picked out, but we figured if you guys could best the name that we've picked out, you will get kudos, and all around you will laud you and hail you as awesome and cool and all things that they want to be. Not really, but you will be heralded as awesome. So if you can come up with a name that we go, that's better,
Just a possibility.
then you will get those kudos. And so we want to hear the names that you come up with tonight. We're going to tell you the name we picked later.
Right.
Because it's actually going to be part of a game, a giveaway that we're going to give away.
Yes.
So, names, Mama. Read the names that they are suggesting, and I'll tell you
Mr.
a few.
Don.
Mr. Don?
Mr. Don.
Oh, not the Don.
No. Larry the donkey.
Larry.
Tigger. Ko.
Ko?
Donkey in, I don't know. In major, I don't know what that is.
Gizmo's
Ralph,
a great name.
Winnie, Humphrey, Jack, Ralph, Donkey from Shrek, Gizmo, Ted, Hee-Haw, Mr. Brad.
Mr. Brad, huh?
Who said that? You gotta block it.
Oh my goodness. Jesus the donkey. Don Quixote.
Don Quixote, yes.
Elvis. Igor. Ferris Mueller.
That's awesome. That is well done.
But he's not a mule, he's a donkey.
So here's a couple that I
Lizard.
picked. Here's a couple that I picked out from the actual
Okay.
comments section. I'm sorry I didn't write down the name of the person who wrote this down, but you'll know who you are, so please forgive.
Don't go on.
In Hawaiian, the word koa means warrior.
That's cool.
Koa. I always just thought it was a cool wood that you could put on a guitar, but I didn't know. Why don't you talk about that one, and then I'll finish up with that one.
Okay, Little House Homestead suggests the name Balaam. And I think that's really cool.
Except Balaam was the prophet riding the donkey.
Right.
The donkey was smart enough not to get cut down by the angels.
Right. So Balaam, nah, I don't know about that. So.
And Allison, Beard or Baird, however you prefer. I prefer Beard. Vader. So,
No.
anyway, so we're going to move on. We're going to come back to the name that we've actually... Oh, is there a good one?
Somebody suggested Dougie.
Dougie.
Crack me up.
Adam
Sweet.
the donkey.
It's a
donkey.
It's a donkey.
All right.
Oh my gosh. So funny. Well, Dolphin Gamer, we actually have a donkey named Eeyore. Eeyore is his mom.
Yes.
So,
all right. We are going to come back to the topic that we're going to... No, time out. Sorry. We're going to move on to a topic right now, and then we're going to come back to actually tell you the name of the donkey and do a giveaway, and we'll tell you what's going on. Now, we don't talk a whole lot about our prepping side of our life. And it's not that we don't want to chat it up about it, it's just that we've kind of come to this new place where we prep and we homestead and we do all those things together. So they're kind of seamless in a lot of ways. And my buddy Prepstetter Bob, he so eloquently stole the name I've been talking about for years.
Yeah, he did.
Nah, he's been doing it too. But it's a convergence of being prepared and homesteading.
Right.
Well, you guys see a lot more of the homesteading side of our lives, and we thought we would chat just a little bit today about prepping. What the heck is prepping, and why does it work like this? And so, what would your definition of prepping be?
And are we crazy or not?
Well, that goes without saying. Excuse me. So, prepping. What would you define prepping as, Mama?
Being prepared for any and all situations.
Manageable situations.
Manageable situations. Like, I mean, if we had a tornado, we clearly would go in the basement. We'd be prepared and have things down in the basement if there was a tornado.
Yeah. Those, I like to call them the what if situations of life.
Right.
What if you came home and the power was not on and it was not going to be on for another month?
Right.
Would you be able to clean your body? Would you
Cook
be
your
able to
food.
cook your food? Would you be able to go to the sink and water would come out? What if situations? What if, heaven forbid, winter went longer?
Like it did this year?
I mean, even longer. What if it was to the point where there was snow piled up so high that you couldn't really leave your house for a few weeks?
Right. Right.
Would you be able to be okay if the gas ran out to the furnace? Dun, dun, dun. Well, you know we don't get too crazy heavy with the doom and gloom stuff, and we're not going to start tonight.
No.
But we believe that it's very important, and not only important, but what would the word be? I guess the word would be essential for every family to kind of go through those what-if scenarios of life where you live. Because you may live down in South Florida where hurricanes are a reality, where I'm not worried about hurricanes.
No.
You're not really worried about a blizzard.
No.
Whereas I'm not really worried about too many alligators coming and biting my dog out on the leash.
Or poison snakes. Thank goodness.
So those what-if scenarios of where you're at, I think it's important to take stock and just say, okay, do I have the essentials of life? Do I have shelter, water, food? Those are some things to really consider about the basics of what it means to be prepared. Now, we've gone, I'd say, much further than that. When we first started out, it was kind of one of those, I guess you would call it an oh poop moment. When we realized that our social, see if I can put it differently. We realized just how fragile society is in terms of, just look around the world. Peace is not the norm, which is sad. But most countries are having either some real major economic problem like Venezuela, and people are literally eating things they shouldn't, and I'll leave it at that. Or there's war, or there's famine, or there's some craziness, and that's unfortunately more the norm than not. And we live in the United States, and we've been blessed with a very abnormal long period of awesome. And so when we started going, oh my gosh, what if all of a sudden trucks stop rolling into the stores?
Right.
We've got a friend who's actually, his name's Bill. He's over at the Tiny House Prepper channel. And he used to be a long distance truck driver. He'd drive supplies to and from, different stores. And he told me, you would be surprised at just how many trucks, I forget the term that he used, and maybe one of you guys would know it out there, but just how many trucks get to the store just as the last items of that are on a shelf are coming off. And that's in good times. That's in perfect, best times.
Isn't it, they only have 3 days worth of items on the shelf?
Generally.
Yeah.
Most stores only have 3 days worth of items. And I got to tell you what, when that hit me as the main guy who is in charge of going out and making sure that bread comes home on the table, I was like, oh my gosh. And so what's our first reaction?
We went and bought rice and beans.
Lots and lots.
And lots of
Lots of rice.
Yes.
And we did what?
We put the rice in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, sealed them shut, and put them in, well, actually, we put the Mylar bag in a 5-gallon bucket, then sealed them. So, yeah, we got them all, prepared to, yeah.
And hey, just so you know, as I glance through the comments, guys, I understand that there's a lot of you folks that are saying, hey, Christ is the only thing that's the important thing. We agree.
Yeah.
But we're talking about practical stuff here.
Right.
No, I mean, we've spent our whole lives committing our lives to God, to Christ.
Right.
And so don't think that we're just trying to discount that and go, that's not important. As a matter of fact, I think it's even much more important if you read Scripture, just how important it is to become a prepared, minded person. And that doesn't mean that you're not relying on God. No. That would be actually silly to think that it's what's that joke that they always say that, hey, the floods came and I trusted God, so I stayed in my house. And then the waters rose and then I went up in the attic, but I trusted God and so I went out onto the roof. And then I trusted God and the waters were rising up and a guy drove by in a boat and I said, nope, I'm good.
Yeah,
God's got this.
Yeah.
And then, another guy came by and there's the waters are higher and I said, nope, don't worry, you keep moving. God's got this. And then a helicopter comes and, says on, and then the guy dies, and he says, what? I trusted you. I thought you were, he's talking to God. I thought you were with me on this. And he said, I sent you this, and that, and you didn't listen.
Right.
And so I'm not trying to discount any of that, but what I am saying is that you've been given a brain, you've been given 2 hands, and you're able to make some decisions that are practical things that are not like throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Right.
So, prepping. How many of you guys out there, would say that you could, and you can just say yes or no or whatever. I'll try to keep it nice and generic just because I know that a lot of preppers, they kind of get real protective about what they're doing and what they're not. And I get it. I understand. But would you say that you could last 3 months if all of a sudden nothing was coming to your stores anymore? Nothing. I'm talking gasoline. I'm talking there's no more milk, bread, butter, eggs.
Nothing.
Would you be able to last 3 months? So type away.
Malcolm says, not me.
Oh my gracious. This is,
No.
there's some yeses. There's some yeses.
There's some yeses.
I'm looking at about half and half. Are you seeing about that without counting?
You have enough food to last, but nothing else.
See, that's the thing, guys.
Well, and here's the thing too. I mean, you have all this food in buckets and jars, but do you have a way to replenish that food in those buckets and jars?
Right.
That's why we turned from prepping to homesteading, because we thought, okay, well, once those beans are gone, what are we going to do? Well, we need to save some of those beans to be able to plant them.
Yep.
So that we can have more beans.
And on and on and on.
Right.
And then when you start, once we went out to what was it, the restaurant supply chain? Gordon Food Service.
Oh, yeah,
GFS.
I love that store.
So after we, frantically rushed out and got, 400 pounds of rice and 400 pounds of beans, and we put them all in the buckets and all that. And then we sat back and went, well, okay.
Now what?
I guess we could live, but it would really, really be horrible. Can you imagine living on beans and rice?
You would have, what is it?
Food something.
Prepstetter
Bob will be able to get it.
Yeah,
It's a term that's you're gonna you'd hate it. You'd hate it. You could live, but it would really stink. Food something.
Food fatigue.
Food fatigue. That's it.
That's it. Because you're only getting a certain amount of nutrients from those rice and beans. You need a lot of other things to,
Round it out.
To round it out and have a balanced diet.
And so tonight, the thing is this. Honestly, it's just to kind of get you thinking along the lines of, if I had $5 a week, just $5 a week, because I don't know about you guys, but money's tight. And a lot of our friends, you live hand to mouth, and well, you know what, $5 a week is not a whole lot, but that's $20 a month.
It's a Starbucks coffee.
But it's still, it's $20 a month. And if you had to start with rice and beans, good.
Right. Do that. Start with that, because it's better than not having anything at all.
Yeah. And that's the challenge, is just start somewhere. I mean, I was seeing a lot of no's when it says, I couldn't do it. And you know what? Rice is better than nothing. You can go and get a 50-pound bag of rice for like $14 at Sam's.
It's really
I wouldn't
cheap.
like to live on rice, but it's better than nothing.
Right.
And not only that,
You'd live.
think about this, guys, too. Like, what if your neighbors need help too? Are you going to be able to just, turn them away, slam the door, and go starve somewhere else?
No.
I couldn't do that.
No. What kind of community would we be?
No. And so the question for tonight for you guys, before we get on to a little bit more lighthearted stuff. Oh, B-Lady's here. She said hello.
Oh, hey. How's it going?
The question for you is, what are the basics of what they call prepping? What are the top 3 things? You need shelter, water, and food. Those are the 3 things
That you need.
the pillars. Now, if you can answer that question for yourself and go, you know what? I got it. I got this 6 months. I got this a year. Well, then, okay. Consider yourself step 1 done. But if you're not, what's it going to hurt?
Right.
You're talking $5 a week. And I know that there's folks out there that are going to say that's a lot. And I get it. For some folks, that is absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And so don't think we're trying to talk down on that at all. But if you could afford it, you could get a lot of stuff. Or even this, look for the food pantries in your area.
Oh, yeah. I know up north here, in at least Wisconsin and Minnesota, there's a website, I think it's rubyspantry.org. Look it up. They have Ruby's Pantry in lots and lots of places. You can get 2 big storage bins of food for $20.
And they're huge.
Yes.
And it's a variety of stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, they had frozen pizzas in there. They had coffee and
sauerkraut and
big old things of pickles. And I mean, they're out there. And you know what you can do too is you can call your local churches and say, hey, look, I'd really like to start working on having a little bit of food on the shelves. Is there a food pantry around? Because the churches, even if they don't have one themselves, they will be able to point you to one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to work at a church for a long time, and that was one of the things that they always did, that we always had resources on hand that if somebody said, I'd like to do this, we could just go grab them a bag and say, here, go be blessed.
Right.
But if they don't have that, it also enables, they will give you numbers and stuff for you to get hooked up. So
exactly.
That's really the main crux for tonight, is that, preparedness, guys. I got to tell you what, I'm sorry, I'm getting goosebumps because preparedness is one of those things that's really heavy on my heart. About 8 years ago now, when we had our poop moment, I had this horrible feeling about how many people only have like a day or 2 or 3 of food and water in their house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just knew that I had to do something about it.
Yeah, because we were one of those people.
100%.
Yeah.
And so if that's you, consider what you might be able to do. I mean, maybe you even got something in your garage or whatever that you could sell or trade. You'd be surprised. Setting up a barter system, it can really save the day. So, all right, we got quarter till. It's time to go back. We're going to do a giveaway. What?
Nothing. One lady said, or one gal said, does Nana have to go potty? No, she likes to sleep in front of that door.
Because it's the coolest place in the house.
Place. But Nana, come here. Somebody
Yep.
wanted to see you. Come here.
Oh, Nana, you gotta go over there.
Come here, up here.
Nana.
There she is.
She's a
big
crazy
girl.
doggy.
She's not even a year old yet, guys. She's
a cutie.
big.
All right, so naming the donkey. What we're gonna do is we're gonna tell you the name we've picked out, and so far I think are we in unity that the name we picked is better than the
Yes.
ones, at least for us.
Yes, for us, yes.
Okay, well why don't you tell them the name, but don't tell them why.
Well, okay. Sorry. Go, never mind.
You remember?
Yes, I forgot how he was going to do that. We picked the name Puzzle.
Puzzle,
Yes.
the donkey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first person who can tell us who is not in the Goin' Batty family
Right.
channel
Because I
family,
talked to her earlier.
the first person who can tell us why we picked the name Puzzle, we are going to send you 2 of our Thrive Life Simple Plate meals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's meals for 2 people each, and they're awesome. So who knows why we picked the name Puzzle? Anyone? Anyone?
Because you like to put them together.
To confuse us.
Yes. No.
No. That's a good one, Heather. God puts the puzzle pieces together. That's a good one, but that's not the reason.
Not it.
I'm going to guess nobody's going to get this one.
No.
Didn't know she was pregnant? No. It's a reference to a book, if that helps, or a story
Okay.
in a book.
Sorry, Heather. You ruined all your fun.
No, Heather. Because he came as a surprise. That's an excellent one, but no.
Yeah.
Autism awareness, I didn't even think of that, but no. That's an excellent, that would be an excellent way to name. But no. Okay. It's in a C.S. Lewis book.
Mm-hmm.
It's a character in a C.S. Lewis book. If you can name the book, you'll get it, whoever's first.
Mm-hmm.
Clive Staples Lewis, to be more
Jumanji.
accurate. Jumanji. No, it is not.
Nope, not BFG. Big Family Giant.
Oh, that's funny. Never read any. Not The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. It is not. But you're closer than anyone's gotten yet. Let's see. Captain Jesse. Mickey Mouse. No. Horse and His Boy. No, but you're getting closer. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. No. Chronicles of Narnia is too general.
Yeah,
It is in the Chronicles.
there's 7 of those.
Yes. That's hard. It is a hard one. Anybody?
Not the compass.
I'm going 5, 4. The Last Battle. Ellen got it.
Yep.
The in The Last Battle, it's an excellent book, and it's a kid's book. But what C.S. Lewis is really great about making deep theological mystery kind of thought, deep thought, understandable like a 12-year-old, which makes it perfect for me. And in The Last Battle, there's a donkey named Puzzle, and he is just, you feel bad for the donkey because he got pretty much just betrayed and used and lied to by his friend, the ape.
Right.
And it wasn't good. No. But there you go. C.S. Lewis, The Last Battle. Puzzle. Okay.
No, City Homestead is asking, aren't those books about witchcraft?
No.
No.
No. C.S. Lewis was one of the greatest theologians in the last 100 years.
Right. No.
And he wrote all of those books were allegory for different chunks of the New Testament.
Yes.
Yeah. Aslan played, in terms of allegory, Christ.
Yes.
As the Christ picture. So, okay. All right, now we've got a little game that we're going to play. Actually, I prepared 2 games, but I think we're going to get time to do one.
Okay.
You guys, we've been having fun with the Read My Mind game lately, and so we're going to continue it on at least.
You can read the mind of Brad.
True. Okay, so which one do you want to start out with there, Mama? This one.
Yeah.
Okay. So the game goes like this, guys. You are going to get a sentence here. And you're going to have to fill in the blank, but you're reading her mind. What would Christa put in that blank? Right? So you ready to type?
I don't like these items, though. That's the problem.
You didn't have to wreck it. You just gave it up.
No, I didn't.
You
No,
totally did.
I did not.
Read your sentence.
Did not give it away. If I were a flower, I'd be a
Flower.
stinkweed.
Stinkweed. That sounds nice.
3.
A tulip. A pansy.
Petunia.
Petunia.
Marigold,
A daisy.
Snapdragon.
Nice.
Hmm.
A dandelion because she's a weed? No.
I actually like dandelions. I mean, the goats love to eat them, and you can eat them yourself.
Bee lady says lilac. That's nice.
Aw, thank you.
So what?
Skunk cabbage.
Skunk cabbage. That is nice.
Yes.
Well done. What would you fill into that blank? If I were a flower, I'd be a
dandelion. I don't know. Okay, here's the truth of it
poison
all.
oak.
Yeah. I don't really like flowers. Every time it's Easter time and you go into the grocery stores and they've got tons of flowers everywhere, I'm holding my nose because the scent is so overpowering. And I like to plant things that provide food for my family.
Nobody asked about that part. She doesn't like, let me help you, honey.
I don't like
She likes plants that are flowers that are in the ground.
There we go. Mark and Debbie have it right. I'm a black-eyed Susan. What does
All right.
Susan deserve to get a black eye?
All right, moving on. Okay, guys, you're going to have to type like the wind. This is my mind. You're going to have to read my mind now, and I know that's a very terrifying place, so go easy. Here we go. My favorite musical is... and then you will fill in the blank. What is my favorite musical? What is my favorite
It's
musical?
not Cats.
Star Wars is not a musical,
No, it is.
sadly. My Fair Lady's great. Oklahoma, no. Joseph, Fiddler on the Roof, very close. And I normally would go with this.
Got it. Linda got it.
No.
Yeah.
No. I've changed my... Oh, The Music Man's great too.
Okay.
But nobody has gotten it because it's not known as a musical. But tell me I'm wrong if this is not a musical. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh.
It's a musical.
Is it really?
It's all singing.
It's all singing.
The whole thing.
Listen,
There are
Nemo,
few who deny it. What I do, I am the best.
He does love that movie.
Yeah. And no, it's
That's
not a
funny.
Satan movie. Calm down.
No, it's
It's
not.
not.
That's funny.
Anyway, Fiddler on the Roof would be
Mamma
my
Mia.
second. Who said that? Get out of the chat.
Captain Jesse said it.
Mamma Mia?
Of course, I saw a lot of musicals up here that were my favorites. Oklahoma, West Side Story, Fiddler on the Roof. Well, there was another one. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nightmare Before Christmas is not a Christmas movie, and it's not a Halloween movie, and it's not a nightmare movie. It's actually a movie about doing what you're supposed to do, being the person you're supposed to be, even if you think you're supposed to be doing something else because it seems like it's great. You're gifted in specific areas that you're really, really good at. And so that's what that's about. Anyway, so here you go, Mama. You're up there.
what about the wedding singer?
Gotta read it.
One thing I did not expect about homesteading is...
Oh, read that again.
One thing I did not expect about homesteading is...
Okay. Do you have one in mind? Okay. One thing, snow, poop, blizzards, early morning flooding, all the poop. Frozen poop, poo, poo, poo. There's a lot of poo coming. There's a lot of poo flowing our way.
And that's it.
It really is?
It really is. There is a load of poop. It's just everywhere and all the time. And I'm like, can't you do that outside? Do we have to scoop this for you? I'm just gonna
They
learn.
wait.
I'm gonna teach them how to use a shovel next time.
I'm not lying. Macy, she'll watch you straight in the eye and she'll be just scooping and putting it in the cart. Then she'll wait till you just pull out, and she
And then
gives
she
you
goes
the
again.
she gives you the wink and goes and fills it up.
Yeah. My favorite is when we first started milking her. Just as we'd get the milk, the surge milker on there, she would poop.
Oh yeah.
Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
trying to just provoke
She wants
me?
to go to freezer camp. Last one
This
of the
is you,
evening.
Macy.
Last one of the evening. I don't know what happened. All right.
Gross.
Last one, you got to read my mind. One of my pet peeves, and there are many, but I've got one in mind. One of my pet peeves is
Might need another hour for this.
this is like group healing. This is group therapy.
Intervention.
Intervention. One of my pet peeves is not poop, trolls. No. Broken implements. That is a pet peeve. A running pig. Yes, that's not the one though. This is going to be a weird one. I think I have mentioned
Can't find
it.
your tools.
Oh, that is a good one. I didn't think of that one, but that's not the one I thought of.
Keyboard warriors.
Yes. Everything breaks. Poop. Jonathan breaking everything. Oh, that is definitely one. Oh, I feel like. Okay, this is gonna sound like a weird one. This is like what?
Bad Christian music.
There is a lot of bad Christian
It really
music.
is. And then there's the good stuff, like, dang.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We love our fair share of Christian rock, but I know how it's made. You ever know that? You know that phrase? You don't want to see how the sausage is made. Being in the industry for a long time, it's hard to overlook some of the things that you see. You know what I mean? But you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No.
So, my pet peeve, guys. Farting beans. No. That's a new one on me.
Wait. Little Homestead? Okay. That was you crossed the line right there.
What?
Christa not picking up her socks.
No.
But what's really funny, last night, I actually left my socks on the floor. And I didn't pick them up today.
They're still over there.
They're right there. But that's very rare.
All right. My pet peeve that is a very weird pet peeve is I cannot stand pumping gas.
That is so true.
I have this thing about wasting time. And when I stand there waiting, looking like a moron, standing there, I'm pumping gas. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye then. And you got to stand there for 10 minutes looking like a moron. How y'all doing? Pumping gas. In case you were wondering, pumping the gas.
But everybody else is doing the exact same thing.
Nah.
So you're not looking like a moron.
I can't stand wasting time.
No, and that is true. So what he'll do is he'll put in like $15 or $20 and then leave.
I get impatient.
He really does.
And I'll be
You
like,
can't wait the 5 minutes it takes to fill up the car.
that's ADD. That's total ADD. Because I'll be like, all right, $15, that's enough. We're out of here.
Which then the next time I go to drive the car, I put gas in.
Which works out for everybody.
Oh,
Anyway,
I'm sorry, John.
pumping
Wow.
gas.
LOL, you're in the wrong state.
Kristen Mahaffey says, even worse than pumping gas is getting to the end and the receipt paper being out. That's not a problem for me because I would just drive away.
Yeah, no, but that irritates me because I like to save the receipts for that.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Okay, guys. Here's the scoop. We are going to call it a night, and we're going to be going over to the Weekend Homestead channel here in just a few minutes. Will has got a show planned for you. I hope that he got his grass hula skirt situation figured out because let's just say that they've got kind of a luau thing going, and he's got the kids involved. And I'm surprised that he could actually find them here at this time of the year. But you're going to have to go over there to make sure. The Weekend Homestead. He's even got the grill out. They're talking about doing like the pig roast. So lots to learn. The Weekend Homestead channel. We're going to call it a night. But before we do, you guys know we're a family of faith. Just going to say a quick prayer. And honestly, hope that you're having a blessed time. We're having a good time. And here we go. Father God, thank you so much for every one of the folks that's decided to come and hang out with us tonight. Lord, I would just ask that you would pour out into them just amazing, amazing blessings. And more than anything, just show them how much you love them. And that you are there, even if things look rough. That you'll never leave, you'll never forsake them. And Lord, that you would just love on them like like a dad who just loves his kids to death. And just pick them up and love on them and let them know who you are. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Alrighty, kids.
Gotta do the thingy.
Oh yeah.
No, you gotta shut the thing off. She's actually got to click it over there. So with that said, adieu, adieu. Parting is such sweet and sour.
Sour.
Yes, sweet and sour.
Willy Wonka. Willy
Good night,
Wonka.
everybody.
Willy Wonka.
Hold on, this is not.
She's still going.
Yeah, it's not working.
Claire can't touch the button. She's
I still
messing
have
with it.
dirt in my eyes.
Oh, dang it! It's,
What are you doing, Claire?
it's like right underneath the thingy.
What are you doing?
It hurts.
Claire. Gracious.
Stop.
She's still doing it.
What's